all of the requests that we've made, from the dredging that we ended up partnering with the Army Corps and DNR to the shoreline protection grants. We even took over operations. We have one of about a dozen privately run fish hatcheries on Koshkonong. It's called the Bark River Fish Hatchery. For the last 20 years, it's been staffed by LTE DNR staff. And the reason why they're able to do that is the Lake District reimburses them for their costs at about $8,000 every year. We feel like that is an incredible community asset for Koshkonong to be one of 12 privately run fish hatcheries on Koshkonong. Everybody that testified against this bill today should come down to Koshkonong and see exactly what we haven't used textbooks, we haven't used theory to try to justify, we haven't used, well, that lake acts this way, the hydrology of this lake acts that way. We have not done that. We've invested our resources to show the agency that what we're asking is for the betterment of all user groups. And I might add that price tag in the last 13 years that we've conducted these projects and followed this litigation and tried to go to a mediation with the DNR and water level and so on, we're pushing 7 figures today. We're pushing $1 million in the last 13 years of public tax dollars fighting with public tax dollars. So the reason why we're here today is looking for some relief. Maybe we should have done this 13 years ago, hired a bunch of lawyers and lobbyists, and just come right to the Capitol and see if we could have fixed it that way, instead of saying, DNR, can we have more water? No. But if you do an environmental impact report, we'll consider it. We put hundreds of thousands of dollars into an EIR. No, you can't. You still can't have your water. Well, can we have an administrative law judge hearing? Sure, you can have that. The ALJ throws out the economic impact report. The appeal process starts. So, unlike our legislators and myself, we don't get paid like lawyers do on an hourly basis. Our meter keeps running. So every single time that somebody says, we're not going to give you 7 inches of water for Koshkonong, for all user groups, for the health of your businesses and the health of your ecology, and there's a reason behind it, we put the PhDs on it. I'll give you another example. There was a claim along the process that higher water in Koshkonong would tip over swamp oaks. We hired people to walk 26 miles of shoreline, document and photograph every tree that had been tipped over, and measure that against the elevations of the lake through the last 25 years. Number one, you could count how many swamp oaks are on one hand, but there wasn't any justification for making us, the taxpayers, fund that type of a report. Another one was, well, if you raise the Lake Koshkonong, you're going to flood the Jefferson Drainage District. I didn't even know there was such a thing as county drainage districts. But we ended up having a pilot fly over and map where all the drainage districts are. Nowhere does 7 inches even come close to encroaching on any kind of ordinary high water mark around the lake. So that's just kind of a real quick overview of how do you spend $1 million of tax dollars trying to get something that is beneficial for the ecology, beneficial for recreation, beneficial for turtles and frogs and fish and ducks, beneficial for the wetlands, and creates no harm. This is for all user groups. So the economic impact report, for the last year, it's been sitting at DNR with no phone calls, no action. No one else has submitted any economic impact reports. I will credit the DNR, though. Almost 8 months ago, the Deputy Secretary and Mr. Rasmussen agreed to come to UW-Whitewater and spent 3.5 hours with the economics department to try to understand the methodology of the report. I give them great credit. It's one of the few times in the last 13 years that we're able to visit with DNR staff one-on-one and explain to them and let the professionals explain, how do you conduct an economic impact report on what does low water mean on a recreational body of water. So we're here to get relief. We're here to put something behind